Tomorrow night, as the chief support on the Anthony Yard card, Daniel Dynamite Dubois takes on Razvan Cojanu in a heavyweight bout. I've been seeing a lot of hate for this fight online, and I don't really understand why. Daniel Dubois is about to have his 10th fight, and in his 10th fight, he's taking on former WBO heavyweight contender Razvan Cojanu. Fair enough. Cojanu stepped into that fight sort of last minute as a replacement for Hughie Fury, when Joseph Parker was supposed to be defending his belt against him. But regardless, Razvan Cojanu is a former world championship contender. If you look at how many boxers over the years do not ever contend for a heavyweight championship, he's been to the highest point. Fair enough, he came up short. But what you also need to understand is that he went the distance against Joseph Parker as well. I think one of the reasons why some people are a little bit at loss with this and a little bit sort of not giving a shit is because this fight was already booked for about 6 months ago, I think, where Dubois was supposed to fight Cojanu originally, but he had to pull out because he had some sort of flu or illness or some other thing like that. But to me, I think it's a good fight. Like when you look at Kajanu's record, 21 fights, 16 wins, 5 losses, 9 of his wins coming by knockout. I don't think that's a bad fight for a guy who's only had 9 fights with 8 coming via knockout. Um, and obviously, what Daniel Dubois will be trying to do is he needs to knock him out because I've recently seen Frank Warren say that he's going to try and make Daniel Dubois versus Nathan Gorman. Well, Nathan Gorman took it to a very boring 12-round unanimous decision against Kajanu. So let's see what can happen. I mean, Daniel Dubois will be trying to emulate Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz knocked out Razvan Cojanu in July 2018, about 4 or 5 months after Joseph Parker had a dull draw. So let's see how quickly, if he can, Daniel Dubois can get him out of there. Me personally, I'm not hating on the fight. I think for a guy who's had 9 fights to be fighting a former world championship contender, um, I think it's a good step up. Yes, there might be other people out there that you might want to see him fight, but what is the point in rushing this man? Daniel Dubois is what, 21 years old? He's got his entire career in front of him. It's not like Joe Joyce, who's 33 or 34. Daniel Dubois can take his time and learn his trade. I don't know how many amateur fights he had, but he's only had 9 professional fights. Why do we need to rush him in there um, to fight anybody? He's 21 years old. He's 6'5". He's only got a 78-inch reach, which I find a bit strange for a guy that tall. But I guess being tall doesn't always mean you're going to have long arms. Let's have a look at the statistics of Kajanu. He's 6'8", so he's got a 3-inch height advantage. Doesn't say what his reach is here, but I'm expecting Daniel Dubois to sort of knock him out. He really needs a knockout, actually, because after his last fight, a lot of people tried to say that his stock went down. Um, you know, just because you're a heavyweight doesn't mean that you have to knock out your opponent in every fight. And I think that fighting Kevin Johnson in that 10-rounder was good because, he's got some rounds under his belt. That's the longest Daniel Dubois has ever been in the ring. Previous to that, his previous longest fight was knocking out Tom Little in 5 rounds in another 10-rounder. So, this is going to be Daniel Dubois' first 12-rounder. And with a 12-rounder, you'd expect the paycheck's going to be a little bit better. Let me know your thoughts. I personally don't care about the level of opposition. The man's going into his 10th fight. I think that the British public, the British media, the British boxing fans, and world boxing fans need to sort of back off a little bit um, because I just think that he's stepping up nicely. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. This is Remstar Says So.